Okay, it's time to talk with our special guest for today. We have in today the Town Mayor of Folkestone, Mr. Martin Salmon. Hello, Martin.
Hello, Barry.
Firstly, Martin, thank you so much for coming in today. We really appreciate you're a very busy man, but, I'd be quite interested to know, actually, and I'm sure our listeners will be as well. Firstly, how are you finding the role of Town Mayor so far? I'm
enjoying it a lot. It's a huge honour and privilege to have been chosen by my fellow town councillors to be the mayor for 2015-16, as well as the first citizen, and you get to attend many ceremonial duties. The mayor also is the chairman of the town council, so I've got two areas to focus on, and both are really important. So I am quite busy, and it can be quite difficult to combine being mayor and also having a full-time job. But thankfully, my employers are quite supportive of what I'm doing. I'm beginning to get used to speaking in public. I tend to write a lot of my speeches down still, though, just so that I've kind of prepared a lot. And also getting used to appearing on local radio as well, which is a huge
honour. I'm sure, yeah. Especially on the Shepway Sports Trust show.
Absolutely.
We're on the award-winning AcademyFM. Martin, now, one of the reasons we've obviously got you in today, all right, you've been undertaking various running challenges to raise some funds, and, could you possibly describe to our listeners exactly, what your running challenges involve and the reasons behind why you're doing it?
Yeah, so I'm the mayor for the year 2016-17, so I've decided to take part in 16 Kent-based running challenges during the year. And so that is including 6 marathons, 6 half marathons, and 4 races that are based here in Folkestone, which is the Coastal 10K half marathon, 5 miles, and a 10-mile race. So the idea is to raise money for my charities. So the mayor is expected to choose some charities and raise money for those. And this year, though, those are Folkestone Rainbow Centre, Folkestone Division Girl Guiding, and the FYP charity, which is a young person's charity. But what I'm trying to do is do something a little bit different that perhaps you wouldn't expect from a mayor to do or try, and also to practically demonstrate the themes of my year, which is a fun, fit and faithful Folkestone, and also show that you can perhaps achieve more than you think you're capable of, particularly in middle age and beyond.
Wow, for those who haven't tried that sort of distances, that is one hell of a challenge, Martin. So full credit to you there, because I did the Folkestone half marathon last year, and that's the longest distance that I'd ever done. And that in itself, although my heart and lungs were fine, it was the joints and my legs that sort of gave up on me in the last 3 miles, and I completed it. But it was so tough, much tougher than I imagined. More, physically on your joints and legs more than anything else. But but to do as many as you're doing, full credit to you. So very well done.
Thank you, Barry.
So, what have you done so far, and what races have you got left to do?
Yeah. So I've the first one I took part in was the Folkestone Coastal 10K. So I volunteered as part of the race beforehand. I was showing people where to go, and then I took part. And of course, that the Folkestone Coastal 10K has a similar route to the half marathon that you took part in, Barry, and along the seafront, and then you have that horrible climb up Road of Remembrance. But well done for what you did last year. Taking part in any running challenge, it is hard, and something you have to be prepared for. The other runs I've done so far is I've done 4 half marathons, including the Canterbury and Thanet Coastal, and I've actually managed to do 8 marathons so far since May, and 6 of those were in Kent, so I've kind of achieved the marathons so far. 2 that sort of stood out for me was there was something called the Beatrix Potter Challenge, which was a tough trail run involving 4,500 feet of climbing across the marathon in a muddy course at Shawn Woods in northwest Kent, and that course included some steps called Cardiac Hill, which I ascended 9 times, but that did take quite a long time to finish. That's about 5 hours 44 minutes. And the other marathon that stands out for me is one called Not the Rio Marathon, which was took place in the Cyclo Park in the Queen Elizabeth Velo Park up in London. And that was run at the same time as the men's marathon on the final day of the Rio Olympics. and we were able to finish in the middle of the velodrome, where 4 years earlier, the Olympic cyclists for Great Britain had a tremendous success. So it was lovely to finish there. I did that in 4 hours and 15 minutes. But I've done lots of other, a few shorter races as well for training purposes since May as well. But what I'm looking forward to doing is actually being able to start the race at the Folkestone Half Marathon at the end of September, and then I'll be joining in at the back of the race to take part and hopefully do that one. And just to say, there's still time to get your entries in if you'd like to take part in that. And I've got lots of other marathons and other runs planned over the course of the next 8 months of my mayoral year.
Well, I'm tired just talking to you. That sounds, so full credit again. But, one key thing, and that's a lot of running to do in a space of a year, but how do you keep motivated to keep pushing on? Yeah.
So I think in terms of motivation, it's all around, for me, first of all, retaining the level of fitness I have got to, because it's taken a little while for me to get to where I have. But also, I like to try and improve all the time and try and set new personal bests when I take part. I got my fastest 5K time on Friday evening down in Rye. It's nothing compared to what our top athletes would do. I mean, they'd probably lap me a few times, if we ever were on the same track. But that's part of running is trying to just improve yourself all the time. When you approach a race, it's good to set a few goals. Whether it's just to finish the race, beat your time you've done previously, or try and set that new PB at that distance.
All right, okay. So what actually got you into running, Martin, in the first place?
Yeah. So for many years, since the early 80s when it began, I watched the London Marathon on television, and I found it very inspiring. From the music to the people who were taking part, what they were achieving. It's unusual for a participation sport, where the best people in the world are on the starting line with the ordinary fun runners like myself. And so I tried to get in for, many times. I've been unsuccessful in the ballot. It is actually very difficult to get that place. And suddenly, autumn 2012, after Olympics, I was chosen for the next April's race. But at that point, I'd had hardly any running experience apart from playing a bit of five-a-side football. So to go from no running to 26.2 miles in 6 to 7 months actually is quite a difficult thing to do. So not unsurprisingly, I got injured and missed a bit of training and didn't feel ready to do it in 2013. So I deferred it to 2014. That was the best decision I've ever made because that gave me a lot more time to get ready for it. So I was able to spend the next year improving, getting fitter and taking part in local races and enjoying the sport. And so, come 2014, I took part in the race, 4 hours 14, which is okay for, first marathon, and raised money for Parkinson's disease. That's sort of my story.
Okay. Just before we sort of look to close up now, any local clubs or sessions that you'd recommend for someone maybe starting out and getting into running, if you're a complete beginner as such, just looking for something, a new sort of challenge, or even perhaps someone who wants to push themselves that might be a current runner already?
Yeah, sure, certainly. So I'd recommend a few things. First of all, Park Run, which happens every Saturday morning in many locations throughout the country, but in Folkestone it's at the Lees, so 9 a.m, free weekly time, 5k run. So you register online, print out your barcode and bring that along with you, and just take part. It's a really lovely, supportive, friendly community of runners that take part in it. I mean, you don't have to be super speedy, just anybody can come along and give it a go. And you can follow your progress week by week as the results are posted online. And I'd certainly recommend that. The other thing is to consider joining a running club. So after I'd trained for the London Marathon, I knew I wanted to carry on, but I'd need support in that. So I think it's difficult sometimes to pluck the courage up to sort of join a running club, but I would recommend it. So there's a few local clubs that I mean, you can look at it on the Shepway Sports Trust website. There's a sports club directory. So we've got Blister Sisters, which is a Hythe-based women-only running club. Folkestone Running Club are based at the Three Hills Sports Park in Cheriton Road, and they specifically cater for junior runners as well as adults. South Kent Harriers are based at the Folkestone Rowing Club in Sandgate, and that's a mixed ability adult running club with some very fast competitive runners in. And the club I'm part of is Hawkinge Hurricanes, and they're based at the Hawkinge Community Centre now, and meet twice a week, and are led by qualified coach Sam Miller and her team of assistants. So plenty to choose from, but I certainly would recommend joining a running club.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, well, like Martin said, we've got a full list of clubs on our website, and if you need a bit of help and assistance in locating those, then please get in contact with us, and we can help you out on that front. Last question for you, Martin: how can listeners keep track of your progress and donate and support your cause?
Thank you, Barry. So if anyone would like to support my cause through my running challenges, please visit my Just Giving page, which is www.justgiving.com/Mayor of Folkestone. And you can also keep up to date through the Folkestone Town Council social media pages. Or if you're quite geeky like me, you can look on my Run Britain stats, which will tell you all the races I've taken part in and the times. So thank you very much.
Okay, Martin Salmon, Town Mayor, thank you so much for joining us today. We wish you all the very best of luck in your challenge. Shepway Sports Trust will provide details on our Facebook page of how to donate to Martin's cause, so please support Martin where you can.
Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair.